Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday. Welcome to Morning Pulse. I'm Greg Howes. It's my privilege to spend a few minutes with you this morning at the start of this day. I'm glad that you could come on with me. And hopefully, this is going to be beneficial to all of us. We're checking our pulse and we're checking the pulse of God, God the Father, as we want to see what's in his heart and mind for us for this day. If you're a Cornerstone person, I want to remind you that we're reading the book of Proverbs, so stay up with that. Today is Proverbs chapter 23. And also tomorrow evening, which is Wednesday night, we have our Cornerstone midweek session at 7:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, online only. And so we hope that you will come on and join us if you possibly can. And tomorrow evening, we will be talking about the difference between disciplining children and punishing children. Do we discipline or do we punish? So that's a question that we will be wrestling with tomorrow evening. I'm sure we'll have different thoughts and opinions on that. So we'll check it out and see what God has for us. Tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. I ran across what I thought was a wonderful quote from T.D. Jakes. I wanted to share with you today. T.D. Jakes says, "You spend so much time on what's on you, but what makes things last is what's in you." Isn't that great? We spend a lot of time and money on what we're putting on our bodies, how we appear to other people, our clothing, our fashion statement, which is okay, nothing wrong with that. But the second part of that statement is where the power is. What makes things last is not just what you're wearing. What makes things last is what's in you. What is in you? What's in your heart? What's in your soul? What is moving on the inside of your life? So just wanted to share that with you as we start today. I thought that was really, really powerful. Now, I want us to move into this realm of disciplining our children and grandchildren. This is in the area of parenting, which is in the area of family. So we're right in the groove of what I believe God has for us right now. And these parenting issues are just absolutely so crucial for us. We've got to get this. We have to get this. The future generations are at stake. We've got to get this parenting issue really, really tacked down in our lives. So let's give it our attention. So this morning, I'm probably repeating some things that you've heard me say possibly last week and maybe even on Sunday. By the way, Sunday, we had a tremendous session with George and Christine Madden. If you missed that, or even if you were there or watched it, I would encourage you to go back and review it, watch it again. It was just a tremendous, excellent presentation by George and Christine concerning parenting, concerning the discipline of children. So I know that would be beneficial for you. So go back and check it out. So we're reviewing, we're repeating, and learning comes by repetition. So I don't feel bad about this at all. Okay. It's a reminder of where we have been. It's been a couple of days since Sunday, and it's been a few days since last Friday. So let's take a look at this. When you look at the word discipline, of course, you're seeing the word disciple as well. And one of the things that discipline is going to do for us is lead us into the place of discipleship. And it's going to happen in the same way for our kids, for our children, and for our grandchildren. Why do we discipline them? Because we're making disciples. We're making disciples. So I think that's something that we must keep in mind at all times when we're dealing with our families. We are making disciples. Now, sometimes we're putting that effort into everything and everybody else, and we're missing our own kids. We're missing our own families. But the first place where you make disciples, the first place where you evangelize, The very first place is your family. It's with your children, with your grandchildren. So please take note of that. Now, I also think it's valuable for us to take a look at how God disciplines his children. And if you didn't know God disciplines us, here it is from Hebrews chapter 12. Excuse me. Have you completely forgotten this word of encouragement that addresses you as a father addresses his son? It says, "My son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, and do not lose heart when he rebukes you." Notice those two words, discipline and rebuke. Because the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and he chastens everyone he accepts as his son. Chasten is the same word as discipline there. Verse 7, endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as his children. For what children are not disciplined by their father? If you are not disciplined and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are not legitimate. You're not true sons and daughters at all. Moreover, we have all had human fathers who disciplined us and we respected them for it. How much more should we submit to the Father of spirits and live? Verse 10, they disciplined us. That's our natural fathers, parents. They disciplined us for a little while as they thought best. But God disciplines us for our good in order that we may share in his holiness. Notice the discipline of God is always looking at what will be produced. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, here's the future now. Later on, however, it produces a harvest. We're looking for a harvest. Our discipline practices are always looking ahead to what will be produced. We're looking for that harvest. It produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. So, key word here is discipline, or the word chastening. This word discipline is a really important word for us. It's speaking of a process where we are making disciples. So it's a discipling process. It involves training. It involves educating. It involves cultivating the soul. It involves correcting mistakes, curbing passions. Ooh, that's a good one. Discipline is instruction which aims at future development. It's aiming at future development. So notice that in that definition of discipline, there's no mention of hitting, spanking. There's no mention of timeouts. There's no mention of taking phones away. This is all about the disciple-making process, where it's more about getting to the internal parts of your son or your daughter, more so than just behavior modification. We're wanting to get into their mindset. We're wanting to get into their soul, where we can create some adjustments, some shifting, some transactions that will be healthy for them, not just now, but moving into the future. Then this word rebuke, again, a very important word. It means to admonish. Admonish is a warning. It means to convict. When you're rebuking, you're bringing conviction, and conviction is going to convince us of something. You're bringing to light something that has happened, something that is being done. You're bringing it to light by conviction. The discernment between right and wrong, the discernment between what is righteous and what is wicked, the discernment between what is good and what is bad, what is helpful and what is harmful. Rebuking is also calling to accountability. So when you rebuke your child, you are calling them to be accountable. Hope you're getting all this. Again, this is not pointing at the outward part of the child where we would try to modify their behavior. This is pointing at the internal parts of the child, getting into their emotions, getting into their mindset, getting into their spiritual makeup, conviction, where they are being convinced. They're being convinced of certain actions that will lead them in the wrong way. All of this happens by discipline and by rebuke. Now, look at this word punishment. We'll be talking more about this tomorrow night in our midweek session. The word punishment is focusing on what was done in the past. When we're punishing our children, we're looking at what they did and we're making them pay for what they have done. Oh, I'm going to get you. It's that type of thinking. And we've all been there. Come on. I've been there. You've been there. Absolutely. But on the other hand, discipline is focusing on the future, adjusting the child. So this is where we're making these internal adjustments in the child so that they will be wise, they'll be prosperous, and they will be successful as they move into their destiny. So this becomes some powerful transactions that will be taking place in the internal structure of this child's life, the internal architecture of this child's life. We're making adjustments. We're leading them in the way they should go. Look at Proverbs 3, 11 and 12. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and do not resent his rebuke. There's the two words, discipline and rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves as a father, the son he delights in. God disciplines us. He's training us. He's making adjustments in our internal being because he loves us. He's not going to just leave us to ourselves and just let us do whatever we want to do. He loves us, so he disciplines us. What does that say about us and our children? If we love our children like we say we do, then we will discipline them. We will rebuke them. We will lead them in the way of making adjustments in the internal being. All right? Look at Proverbs 29:17. Discipline your children, and they will give you peace of mind, and they will make your heart glad. Again, discipline is focused on the future of the child. So when we discipline our children, we are straightening their attitude. Ooh, that crooked attitude. Come on, make the crooked places straight, John the Baptist. Straighten the attitude and maximize their ability and equip them with the tools they will need to be successful. Discipline your children, and they will give you peace of mind. They will make your heart glad. We've got to make these attitude adjustments in the internal being of our children, and that comes by discipline and rebuke. So the goal of discipline is to build character in the child's life and to train the conscience of that child. Build their character and train their conscience. And when you're training their conscience, you're really equipping them with this quality of integrity. That is what we are aiming at. Character, conscience. Character, conscience. Discerning the difference between righteousness and wickedness, the difference between obedience and disobedience, the ability to see the consequences for their actions. I love the example George Madden gave this past Sunday when he said that he was trying to teach Hannah, their daughter, when she was a teenager, a younger teenager. She still is, but a younger teenager. They were trying to teach her consequences. What are the consequences? And so she had done something. And so whatever that was, George folded up a piece of paper and he wrote what she had done on the part of the paper she could see. This is what you did. Okay, this is what happened. Then he unfolded the rest of the paper and he had put a whole list of, if you do this, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. And he was teaching her, he was showing her that there is a sequence of events that will come because of this choice you made, because of this decision you made. Consequence. Con means with, and then a sequence. Every choice we make, every decision we make comes with a sequence of results. Yeah. Everything comes with a sequence of results or events. And so this is the way we discipline our children, the way we instruct them in the ways of righteousness. Wow. So powerful. We're going to continue this tomorrow. And I think tomorrow we'll get into a little bit about the principle of the rod, what that's all about. We talked about that on Sunday, but I want to just go over that again so we really get that principle into our spirit. What is the rod? What is the rod supposed to do? How are we supposed to use the rod? So we'll be taking a look at that tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central Daylight Time. All right? Listen, God is with you and he is helping you. You are not a failure. You are not. You are not a failure. You're doing better than you think you are. Stay after it. Be consistent. Be consistent with the discipline. And eventually, you're going to see the harvest of peace and righteousness. It's coming. Hallelujah. Have a great day today. I believe that everything you put your hands on today will be prosperous and it will be successful. Have a great day. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. I'll talk to you soon.